everyone, welcome to Bradley's Basement Blog, and I'm Tim Bradley. It's time to take a look at the Doctor Who Mr. Men book series again, and we go back to the first batch of books that were published in April 2017. We continue the series with the fourth incarnation of the Doctor, Doctor Fourth. It's taken me a while to get around to doing this book review, as things get in the way in life, as I'm sure you understand. I had hoped that I would have been able to have done this review after attending the Film and Comic Con in Glasgow this year in August. But as with life, as I said, things sort of get in the way. But thankfully, I've been able to find time to do this review, so now we can continue the series by looking at what Adam Hargreaves did with Tom Baker's interpretation of the Doctor. As you can see from this book cover, he has Tom Baker's Doctor in multicoloured scarf galore, as well as the hat, and of course these boots that the Doctor's wearing. And as you can see, I'm wearing Tom Baker's scarf. Yeah, this was from the I got this from the Doctor Who experience, from my dad. I'm sure you won't mind me wearing the scarf for the occasion. This book, Doctor Fourth, was released alongside Doctor First, Doctor 11th and Doctor 12th, back in April 2017, and that was when the books first came out. The book features Tom Baker's Doctor with Sarah Jane Smith, as well as the dreaded Daleks. Yes, the Daleks are in this one. Will the Doctor and Sarah Jane be able to tackle these dreaded pepper pots? Well, let's find out as we take a look at Doctor Fourth. Let's hope that Doctor and Sarah Jane can keep on with the running, and the running, and the running. Enjoy!
Like I said, Doctor Fourth features the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane in it. I really like how Tom Baker's Doctor gets interpreted in Mr. Men form, especially with the long scarf, the hat, and the curly hair. The boots he wears puts me in mind of Mr. Noisy. Gee, I hope Tom Baker's Doctor won't shout a lot in this book. We open with the Doctor and Sarah Jane running on a green field, where it's a cloudy blue sky behind them. The Doctor's scarf is flapping about in Sarah Jane's face as he runs. Sarah Jane looks pretty cute in her sexy pink Little Mrs. form, with short dark hair, yellow button nose, and wearing red trainers on her feet. I wonder if Liz Sladen would approve of herself in Little Mrs. form. I'm sure she would. The worm in the ground looks pretty perplexed by the Doctor and Sarah Jane running about on the ground, though. "Come along, Sarah," cried the Doctor. The Doctor and Sarah Jane were running away. It seemed to Sarah Jane that the two of them spent an awful lot of their time running, and mainly running away. Yeah, the Doctor should probably give out job descriptions and application forms to future companions. The essential requirement for them is to have the ability to run a lot whilst adventuring. It'll come in handy when chasing a certain renegade Time Lord from an antimatter universe in the streets of Amsterdam. And what were they running away from this time? Probably Mary Whitehouse. She'll have complaints to make to the Doctor Who production office for showing such scary images to children late in the evening before they go to bed. Actually, the Doctor and Sarah Jane were running away from the Daleks. Yep, like I said, the Daleks make an appearance in this. I enjoyed seeing the Daleks in this story. "Seek, locate, exterminate," grated the Daleks in their metallic voices. I've got to give Adam Hargreaves this. The Daleks are pretty well drawn here in Mr. Men form. They look convincing, and they have the potential to be scary as Daleks. Look, even that worm on the ground is running away from a Dalek as it fires its death ray in the chase for the Doctor and Sarah Jane. Daleks don't run, but they do chase. Yes, as we clearly saw in the William Hartnell story called The Chase. The Daleks were a terrible alien race intent on just one thing: to destroy, to exterminate everything. Although some Daleks were better at exterminating than others. Yeah, some Daleks even self-destruct themselves by going into a hissy fit. And some Daleks who thought other Daleks didn't do their job well, blew them up instantly without a second thought. Don't let any of your children marry a Dalek. He or she will be heartbroken once their Dalek partner gets exterminated. One of the Daleks, who isn't good at exterminating, is number Z403, better known to his friends as Dale. That's rather mean of the Daleks to nickname him after a city in The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm sure Dale would have preferred to be called Smaug. And from this picture, I've never seen a Dalek look so miserable. Look at him! His eye stalk is down, his plunger is down, even one of the ridges under his head looks sad looking. It's like he opened his mouth and is about to cry. Dale the Dalek's energy ray was not so convincing. That's clearly shown in this picture, as Dale's death ray is pathetically spewing out rather than shooting out. It's like he tried to shoot down that tree, but failed miserably. Or maybe he was trying to shoot the rabbit. Even the rabbit's laughing at Dale. Oh dear, poor Dale. We go back to the Doctor and Sarah Jane now running in a street. The Doctor's turned the corner while Sarah Jane is trying to catch him up. "What are we going to do?" puffed Sarah Jane. "That's simple," cried the Doctor. "Keep running and don't get exterminated." Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Doctor. It'd be nice to know if you had a plan up your sleeve. Mind you, the book makes this good point. It had to be said, the Doctor's suggestion made perfect sense. "If we can get to the TARDIS, then we can lead the Daleks away from this planet," said the Doctor, skidding around a corner into an alleyway. Oh, so that's where he was heading off to. The alleyway! Interesting fact, this seems to be the first time that the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane have dealt with Daleks on Earth. Other times have been on alien planets like Exelon and the Daleks' home planet of Skyro, where our heroes, including the Doctor, Sarah Jane and Harry, witnessed the creation of the Daleks by Davros and the like. But it seems that the alleyway the Doctor and Sarah Jane entered into didn't lead to an escape. "Doctor, that's a dead end," warned Sarah Jane. "What are we going to do?" "Climb the ladder, of course," said the Doctor. And to Sarah Jane's surprise, there was indeed a ladder. "But how did you know?" began Sarah Jane. "Yeah, I'm with Sarah Jane. How did that ladder get there? Was it magically summoned at the Doctor's command? Did a window cleaner leave it by mistake? Or is this some wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey plot that we're about to discover? Oh, I'm sure everything will get sorted out. It usually does." "Keep up, Sarah," said the Doctor, clambering over the wall. "And don't forget to pull the ladder up behind you, and bring it with you." And as you can see in this picture, Sarah Jane climbs up the ladder to go over the wall and follow the Doctor. Gosh, the Doctor's mean in making Sarah Jane pull the ladder up behind her, over the wall, and bringing it along. What's the Doctor going to do while she's doing all the hard work carrying the ladder on her shoulders? Anyway, back to the Daleks. The wall stopped the Daleks, but not for long. Yeah, Daleks aren't going to be beaten so easily, even with a brick wall in their way. The Daleks did not need a ladder. In fact, Daleks don't climb ladders. They can actually fly over a wall with their elevation powers underneath their bases, as demonstrated in Remembrance of the Daleks and Dalek... Oh, wait, we're in pre-Destiny of the Daleks era, aren't we? So that means the Daleks can't get up the stairs. Oh, well that's rubbish. But it seems the Daleks don't have to worry about flying over the wall. Daleks have energy rays, and in a matter of moments, they had exterminated the wall. Yikes, a Dalek energy ray can break down a brick wall? Wow, I'd like to see more of that. The only way Daleks can break into an impossible entrance would be to use a special weapons Dalek with a huge cannon. Oh, wait, we're still in pre-Destiny of the Daleks territory, aren't we? Meanwhile, Sarah Jane and the Doctor came to a wide river. There was a drawbridge, but the control lever was on the other side. Not sure why that should be a problem for you two. I mean, you can cross over the drawbridge. It's not like the river's stopping you. I know I'm jumping ahead in the story, but I'll explain why there's a problem with this scene. "Would you like a jelly baby?" asked the Doctor. "I don't think this is the moment to be handing out jelly babies," Sarah Jane cried in exasperation. "Why not, Sarah Jane? You have been running for quite a while. I'm sure having a jelly baby will give you the energy after all that running. I know jelly babies are sugary, but they are a source of energy. I'd like a jelly baby myself." "The orange ones, they're the best." But of course, the Doctor wasn't talking to Sarah Jane. "Not you," said the Doctor. "That pigeon." "Yes, of course. Fancy the Doctor talking to a pigeon that came out of nowhere. Sure enough, one of the pigeons did want a jelly baby. Wait, you mean there was more than one pigeon in this story? Where are the other pigeons? Actually, that jelly baby the Doctor's holding, it looks a lot like Mr. Greedy. Does that mean the Mr. Men characters get marketed as jelly baby characters in this universe? Ugh, the Doctor Who Mr. Men universe just got darker. As the pigeon took off, it knocked the drawbridge lever and the Doctor and Sarah Jane were able to safely cross the river. Yeah, it's not like the Doctor and Sarah Jane couldn't cross the river with the drawbridge already down. You know, before the Doctor offered a jelly baby to the pigeon to raise it up. Seriously, this picture, it ruins the tension. If the drawbridge was already up and not down over the river, it would make sense for the Doctor to offer the Mr. Greedy jelly baby to the pigeon. But it seems like the pigeon's about to pull up the drawbridge, and the Doctor will soon end up falling into the river. I mean, if that happened, of course. Mind you, that would be a funny comedic moment in this Doctor Who Mr. Men book. I'm surprised Adam Hargreaves didn't go for that direction. With the drawbridge raised once again, yes, well done Doctor for raising the drawbridge properly, the Doctor and Sarah Jane had escaped one lot of Daleks. Daleks don't swim, and they don't like jelly babies. But they do like Dalek cakes, as demonstrated in that Blue Peter episode from the 1960s. Those Dalek cakes are yummy, even if one Dalek thought a Dalek cake had too much chocolate in it. In fact, the list of things that Daleks can't do is long, but not as long as the list of things that Daleks don't like. Yeah, I can just imagine the things that Daleks don't like being longer than the list of movies being hated by people these days. They don't like kittens. Poor cats. And dogs too. Daleks don't like puppies as well as kittens. They don't like flowers. Never give a bunch of flowers to a Dalek on Valentine's Day. They don't like ice cream. The ice cream flavours strawberry, tutti frutti, chocolate and vanilla didn't sit well for the Daleks and their taste buds. And they definitely don't like tennis. If that's so, why is this Dalek clearly playing tennis in this picture? It's clearly ready to play tennis with that tennis racket in its plunger. Mind you, it did shoot that tennis ball there. The ball is probably in bits now. The Dalek must have had enough of tennis when it couldn't get the rules. I can imagine the Dalek saying, "I can't play this stupid game anymore! Curse you, Andy Murray! Exterminate! Exterminate!" There is only one thing Daleks like. Yes, and I know perfectly well what that is. And that is exterminating things. No, book. You liars. There is only one thing Daleks like, and that's Dalek cakes. I clearly established that in this review. Daleks like Dalek cakes according to that 1960s Blue Peter episode. Actually, I do find it funny and love it when it gets pointed out in the story that there's only one thing the Daleks love, and that is exterminating people. But the Doctor and Sarah Jane were now faced with more Daleks blocking the road ahead. And by this picture, it seems the pigeon has joined the Doctor and Sarah Jane on their travels. Is this what Tom Baker meant when he said he would like to have a parrot as his companion in the TARDIS? Maybe the pigeon wanted to have another jelly baby from the Doctor. A Mr. Happy one this time. "Now where's it gone?" asked the Doctor. "Where has what gone?" asked Sarah Jane. "Really, Sarah, you must keep up. Ah, there it is." I do feel for Sarah Jane. She seems to be left in the dark a lot ever since the Doctor changed from John Pertwee into Tom Baker. Sarah Jane was becoming more puzzled by the minute as they climbed onto the bicycle that the Doctor had been looking for. Where did that bicycle come from? Did it just appear by magic like the ladder did? Also, how are the Doctor and Sarah Jane able to carry the ladder and balance it so well as they ride the bicycle? And the bicycle, it looks rather big to me. Is it a tricycle rather than a bicycle? So many questions. "Pedal faster!" cried the Doctor, as they weaved between the Daleks standing in the road, avoiding the energy rays. How come we don't get to see the Doctor and Sarah Jane dodging Dalek energy rays in this story? We were allowed to see the first Doctor dodging shots by Cybermen in his story. Why not the fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane dodging Dalek energy rays in this one? There was only one Dalek close enough to stop them. Luckily, it was Dale. Well, lucky for the Doctor and Sarah Jane, not lucky for the Daleks. Dale is still pretty pathetic with his energy waves spewing out onto the road like that. Sarah Jane just smiles at him on the bicycle/tricycle. I wonder if Sarah Jane thinks Dale is cute in this story. The Doctor and Sarah Jane probably might be making affectionate jokes about Dale once they get back into the TARDIS. Once they had avoided the Daleks, they came to another road. A very busy road. Yes, the M4, M5 and M6 roads are very busy in the UK, especially during the rush hour. Fortunately, there was a stop sign that held back the traffic, and the Doctor and Sarah Jane pedalled across, but there was nothing to stop the Daleks from doing the same. You know, if this was a busy road, shouldn't there be more than one car in this picture? Shouldn't we be seeing the Doctor and Sarah Jane overlooking the motorway or something? I mean, I know blue is my favourite colour, and I like this blue car here, but this picture doesn't clearly signify that this is a busy road. It looks like a standard country road with a stop sign nearby. But was there something to stop the Daleks from chasing the Doctor and Sarah Jane on the busy road? Well, apparently there was. Beside the stop sign was a bucket of paint and a brush. Very convenient to have that bucket and brush there, isn't it? I wonder who left it there. Or was it summoned by the Doctor at a magic command in the same way that the ladder and the bicycle appeared? This is all turning into a very timey-wimey story, isn't it? Well, that's lucky, cried Sarah Jane, grabbing the brush and painting over the stop sign. I couldn't agree with you more, Sarah Jane. That was lucky for you two to find the paintbrush and the bucket. And it's convenient that it's white paint in the bucket as you paint the brush all over the black stop letters on the stop sign. Was the Doctor being proactive here? That's more the 7th Doctor's way of doing things rather than the 4th Doctor's. Be careful where you're holding that paintbrush, by the way, Sarah Jane. You're going to ruin those daisies on the ground there. Luck? Said the Doctor. Nothing to do with luck. It's called good planning. Don't forget the paint bucket. Oh, so it was the Doctor being proactive here. I know this is like for kids who have probably seen the new series, but isn't it a bit unusual to see Tom Baker's Doctor thinking ahead of everyone else, whereas other Doctors like Sylvester McCoy and Matt Smith could have done the same? Also, why were the Doctor and Sarah Jane running away from the Daleks at the beginning of the story? Did they discover a secret Earth base of theirs or something? The reasons for the Daleks pursuing the Doctor and Sarah Jane aren't very clear here. Apart from wanting to exterminate them, of course. That's motivation enough, I suppose. Now that the traffic was no longer held by the stop sign, the cars roared off, and by the time the Daleks reached the road, it was busy to cross. I do find it funny seeing these Daleks unable to cross the road, with the cars zooming off and blocking their path. It's like the two grey Daleks are bickering with each other and saying, "It's your fault! Your fault! Your fault! Your fault! Your fault! Your fault!" And Dale was just looking sad and saying, "I'm never going to have my free Dalek cake, am I?" Why can't the Daleks blow up the cars to get them out of the way to cross the road? They can easily do that. They're Daleks. They've got death rays. Why not blow the cars up? Oh well, I suppose they'll have to ask that chicken crossing the road how they're going to get to the other side. The story ends with the Doctor and Sarah Jane back at the TARDIS. The pigeon's there too, on the rooftop of the blue box. Still wanting his jelly baby, I suppose. And the TARDIS lamplight is red for some reason. Isn't it usually white or yellow? How come the TARDIS lamplight is red? Oh no, the Master's in there! He's attempting to cannibalize the TARDIS! Like I said, they finally reached the TARDIS. And it looks like they brought the ladder, the bicycle, or tricycle, the paint bucket, and the paintbrush along with them. Sarah Jane's not too happy about this, while the Doctor is ecstatic. "Why on earth did you make me bring all this stuff along with us?" Sarah Jane asked. "Well, there is a perfectly obvious reason. If we did not bring these things along, then how would we be able to go back and leave them for us to find later?" the Doctor replied. "Actually, it's not obvious, Doctor. How did you know the ladder, the bicycle, tricycle, the paintbrush, and the paint bucket were left there by you to begin with? Is this a grandfather paradox of some kind? You know what? It doesn't really matter. We're getting to the end of the story. Well, that's about as clear as mud, cried Sarah Jane. You said it for me, Sarah Jane. As clear as mud in which we can't see through it. This is a bit of a complicated timey-wimey plot, isn't it? With a hole. And especially for a children's book of a Mr. Men version of Tom Baker's Doctor. I do have a time machine, and I am a Time Lord. Yes, you made that clear already, Doctor, in the first book. So I can go back in time and practice. Practice what? Your time travel abilities? Your music lessons? Your future cricket lessons when you tackle cricket men? Or become Peter Davison's Doctor? What? As we all know, practice makes perfect, and I never travel anywhere without a jelly baby. Or a lemon sherbet, or licorice all sorts from Bassett's. That can be mistaken for jelly babies in some stories, sometimes. Anyway, Dr. Fourth has been a pretty enjoyable story for the most part. Like previous installments, this is a Doctor Who Mr. Men book that's rather silly in places, and the story is a little complex to understand with plot holes in it. It's not explained how the Doctor knew he would leave things like a ladder, a bicycle, a paintbrush, and a paint bucket for him and Sarah Jane to pick up. It's also not explained why the Daleks chased our heroes. The story simply features the Doctor and Sarah Jane being chased by Daleks, and that's it. But unlike Doctor Third, this book showcases Tom Baker's Doctor in a good way, through Mr. Men form, in that he is like the one from the TV series. At least he smiles in this story, whereas John Pertwee's Doctor in Mr. Men form didn't smile. I did enjoy seeing the Daleks in this adventure. They're drawn to be like Daleks, and even Dale, the pathetic Dalek, put a smile on my face. It is amusing and silly that the Daleks were easily beaten by Sarah Jane, who painted a stop sign with white paint. Then again, this is a book for children, so what are you going to do? Dr. Fourth continues the style and whimsical nature of Doctor Who in Mr. Men form very well. I like how Adam Hargreaves interprets Tom Baker's Doctor in Mr. Men form, and I like that it is Sarah Jane who gets to be his companion here. Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen were a popular TARDIS team on TV. Thank you very much for watching this review by me on Dr. Fourth. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time we'll be taking a look at the 5th book of the series, Dr. Fifth. The season 19 TARDIS team of the 5th Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan and Adric are in it. Nyssa's in the Doctor Who Mr. Men book. Wow, I'm excited. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.